Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. So let me introduce myself. My name is Arun Das. I'm associated with ManageEngine for more than 6 years, and I'm a seasoned technical support engineer assisting customers in choosing the right products according to their requirement. We welcome you to the endpoint security training for today. So the endpoint management and security is distinguished into two different categories. So these are the two different categories. One is endpoint security and the other one is endpoint management. Under the roof of endpoint security, we have a list of products starting from Vulnerability Manager Plus, which is concentrating on vulnerability mitigation and remediation, vulnerability assessment, and Patch Manager Plus as an all-round patching solution for Windows, Mac, and Linux operating system. And also it includes third-party application patching as well. Browser Security Plus, a comprehensive browser management solution to manage your plugins, add-ons, and all your browsers. Device Control Plus as the data leak prevention software to manage your USB devices and peripheral devices. Patch Connect Plus, which will integrate with your existing SCCM or Endpoint Manager to facilitate third-party patch management, and a comprehensive application management solution, which is called as Application Control Plus, to whitelist and blacklist applications. So under the roof of endpoint management, we have our parent product, Desktop Central, which is an endpoint management suite, which has all the features, including patch management, software deployment, mobile device management, endpoint security with 5 different security add-ons, OS imaging, inventory management, remote management, modern management for Windows 10 and Mac devices, configurations management. So mobile device management can be handled using Mobile Device Manager Plus, and we have a remote management solution to troubleshoot computers remotely from a central location. The solution is Remote Access Plus. And for managed service providers, we offer a whole endpoint management suite as Desktop Central MSP. And we have an OS imaging solution for automating the disk imaging, which is OS Deployer. These are the two different categories under endpoint management and security for ManageEngine. Once again, I welcome everyone for today's Endpoint Central training. In today's training, we are going to take a look on how to secure the endpoints from unknown vulnerabilities with unified endpoint security. So what are the security offerings from ManageEngine will be discussed in today's session. In the previous session, we have discussed on how to remediate known vulnerabilities with automated patch management. In case if you've missed the session, you can visit the below mentioned link to view the video and presentation. This is a 6-week webinar series starting from August 24 through September 28. Also, we'd like to let you know that we provide you a participation certificate after the completion of series. So once the series gets completed by September 28, we will consolidate all the participants and then we provide a free participation certificate. To know more about the training and the certificate details, please visit the below link. In today's session, we are going to take a look on unified endpoint security. The agenda is as follows, starting from the Center for Internet Security's top 5 security controls on how to respond to the known vulnerabilities and mitigate those vulnerabilities, the remediation methods. So the application control to restrict non-business applications by whitelisting the business applications, how to secure your browsers from web attacks using browser security solution offered by ManageEngine, comprehensive BitLocker management to encrypt the data drives and OS drives, and the data leak prevention solutions offered by ManageEngine. So we welcome you to the Endpoint Central training. So what is Endpoint Central, or what is a unified endpoint management? A famous reviewer, Forrester, defines a unified management product. A unified endpoint management product should be a product that provides a centralized policy engine for managing and securing employees' laptops and mobile devices from a single point of console. So this solution comprises to be a unified endpoint management. So we'll discuss on the features further. So what is all about this Endpoint Central Unified Endpoint Management? So this Endpoint Central tool is all about managing the client's mobile device management, modern management for Windows 10 and Mac operating system, plus automating the imaging solution using OS deployment. So the traditional management, which has patch management, application management, configuration management, inventory management, remote management, OS deploying solution tools, which is being developed with the modern management with a controlled OS update, and then managing the applications using store. From the store, you can manage the applications on what applications needs to be whitelisted and blacklisted, how to distribute the profiles using the configurations, extensive inventory management with the asset management. You can have software cycle, software reports, remote management. So extensive OS deployment with OS reset and recovery, with geo tracking and geofencing options for the missions and the management. So unified endpoint management comprises all of these modules, right from provisioning the device, managing the applications, configuration management, asset management, remote management, continuous vulnerability assessment and mitigation, automated patch management, data loss or data leak prevention, web protection, securing websites using policies deployed to the endpoint, device compliance by deploying strict policies for the devices, and finally, a full-fledged analytics and reporting system to get a clear data, a clear view about the unified endpoint management. These are the security add-ons which is being offered by the Manage Engine Unified Endpoint Management, right from application control, vulnerability management, device control, BitLocker management, and browser security. So these are available as standalone as well as add-ons for Endpoint Central. Why we should choose Manage Engine over others? Because Manage Engine has been recognized by these famous researchers. So we've been consecutively awarded for these Gartner Magic Quadrant, IDC MarketScape, and Forrester Wave 2021. In case if you'd like to know more about the awards and recognitions, please visit the below link that gives you more details about it. According to a unified endpoint management solution, what is an endpoint? These are the endpoints according to a unified endpoint management solution. The endpoints are laptops, desktops, mobiles and tablets, point of sale devices like embedded operating system, browsers, servers that comprises to be an endpoint. And let's take a look on what are the supported operating system in endpoint management and security. So these are the list of supported operating system, which includes Windows Workstation operating system, Windows Server operating system, Mac operating system, and Linux operating system. So let us discuss on whether we are equipped to manage the distributed workforce in the current scenario. So let's take a look on the on-premise architecture in which John is responsible for managing the distributed workforce, being a system IT administrator, and the machines are distributed across Sydney, Chennai, London, and Pagoda. So we have machines with limited bandwidth and then unlimited bandwidth, and also we have roaming users. With this on-premise architecture of Manage Engine, you could effectively manage the machines with the VPN, which can connect to the office network, and then it can communicate. And at the same time, you can establish distribution or downstream service for limited bandwidth locations, and also you can manage the roaming users. When we discuss about the on-premise architecture, we should discuss about the cloud architecture of ManageEngine as well, which is of ease and use. So the major difference between the on-premise and cloud is just the hosting. There is no feature-wise difference because we offer this solution as a SaaS model, software as a service. So with the cloud solution, every machine which has the active internet connection can download their own patches and then they can stay up to date. You can even place a distribution service, which is optional to manage the machines which are inside the office to save the bandwidth. Also, you can host ManageEngine solutions in AWS and Azure Cloud. The Center for Internet Security suggests 5 important security controls for effective cyber defense. You should have the inventory of authorized and unauthorized devices. You should have the inventory of authorized and unauthorized software. Should secure configurations for hardware and software. Continuously assess the vulnerabilities and remediate controlled use of administrative privileges. So ManageEngine's different security add-on solution helps you in managing all the critical security controls suggested by the Center for Internet Security. In order to ensure the security for each and every endpoint, it should be logged down from the outside attacks. So the lockdown includes all these options, like it should have an active firewall, antivirus, an effective browser security solution, a conditional access, network access control to bolster the network security, data leak prevention, endpoint privileged access management, patch management, and a list of allowed applications. So that is how you lock down the endpoint. So let's take a look on the first endpoint lockdown vulnerability management. But before that, let me give you the details on the endpoint security. ManageEngine endpoint security can be enabled by navigating to the admin section. So when you navigate to the admin section, you'll find an add-on. The name of the add-on is endpoint security. You can enable the add-on. So once you enable the add-on, you'd be able to see 5 different add-ons. The patch management changes through threats and patches, device control, browsers, application control, and BitLocker. First module that we're going to take a look today is threats and patches. So vulnerability management. What is vulnerability management according to ManageEngine? ManageEngine offers the solution based on the Center for the Internet Security and STIG compliance on identifying what are the vulnerabilities and how to remediate those. So we have an automated remediation process and manual remediation process. So when we discuss about this, let's take a quick look in the tool. So under threats and patches, adding to the patch management with existing Endpoint Central, you'll find a common dashboard with all these information, which gives information related to vulnerabilities and everything. So this threat section, this vulnerability mitigation gives you the option to identify what are the vulnerabilities in your network. So you can identify what sort of vulnerabilities and how to mitigate those. If there are patches available, you can have an automatic patch deployment. By having an automatic patch deployment, you'll have an automatic remediation process by mitigating those vulnerabilities. So we give you the CVSS score and all these details, and each and every vulnerability details gives you the CV ID and external links for reference. Also, we provide you a smart view that gives you the details based on each and every application. And we list the common vulnerability exposures, zero-day vulnerabilities, high-risk software, which causes high risk, end-of-life peer-to-peer and RDP software. So you can choose what softwares you can keep it in your network, and then you can remove the unwanted, unintended software. So when we discuss about the web server misconfiguration, how to disable the legacy protocol, it is not recommended to keep the transport layer security version 1.0, which is less secure. So let's take a look on how we can manage the misconfigurations. So when you navigate to system misconfiguration, so if the TLS version 1.0 protocol is not disabled, or if it is enabled, we'll flag it as a misconfiguration. Through Manage Engine, you can deploy a secure configuration, and then you can mitigate the version, you can upgrade the version to the latest. Not only that, we have other options available in the system misconfiguration that list all the misconfigurations identified in a mission, so that the network will be secure and it will be less exposed to the vulnerabilities outside. So all these misconfigurations will be available in Smart View as well. That gives you additional details. We identify web server misconfigurations as well. So this web server misconfiguration will be resolved by deploying the resolution suggested by the vendor. So if we tag the manual resolution, you can follow the resolution to get rid of the web server misconfiguration. Also, we give you the list of ports that are listening. So this vulnerability assessment solution, or vulnerability remediation, continuous vulnerability assessment and mitigation, will be taken care by this vulnerability management solution of Manage Engine. The next endpoint lockdown solution will be Application Control Plus. Application Control solution from Manage Engine is a virtual checkpoint for all applications with a built-in privilege manager. So with this application control software, you can whitelist and blacklist like non-business applications, and then you can have a principle of least privilege. So this application control solution helps you to restrict non-business applications. You can whitelist business applications using this application control solution. Let's take a look at the tool. So when you navigate to application control module in Manage Engine Endpoint Central, that provides you the option to create your own application groups. So before you create the application groups, I believe that you guys are aware of creating the custom group. Let me reiterate the same again. When you navigate to admin, under global settings, you'll find custom group. You can create your own custom groups based on the teams that you have, and then you could navigate to the application control. So here, you can create whitelist and blacklist groups. So when we discuss about whitelist groups, we have different rules provided. You can create rules based on a vendor or a product name or a verified exe based on file hash or folder path. Based on store apps, you can whitelist the applications. So once you whitelist the applications, to avoid the unassociated applications, you can even display unassociated applications so that you can either move it to whitelist or blacklist rule. So once these whitelist and blacklist groups created, you can navigate to deploy policy. You can associate the group. So once you associate the respective groups, they will be having access only for the respective whitelisted application. They won't be having access for the blacklisted application. You can even have two different modes that you can run. One is audit mode and the other one is strict mode. Audit mode allows the users to install a new application, and then the newly installed application will be considered as gray listed application. So the gray listed application will be listed in the dashboard. You can either move it to blacklist or whitelist according to your convenience. But when you enforce strict mode, the user will not be able to install new application. They will be able to install or access only the whitelisted applications. So the gray listed application will be listed in the dashboard. You can plan to whitelist or blacklist according to your convenience. Also, we provide an additional feature on the controlled use of administrator privilege. You can associate privileged application list. So it is nothing but the privilege management feature. Manage engine enables the elevation of privileges to certain application that requires admin privilege or admin credentials. Rather providing admin credentials to every standard user, you can elevate the privilege of that application. So you can choose whatever applications that you want to elevate for. So once you choose the applications, it will enable, if you want to enable an auto elevation, rather running as administrator, you can run as manage engine. While deploying the policy, you can associate the privileged application list as well. So this privileged application list will allow you to control the usage of administrator access, administrator credentials across the network. Also, we provide the option to remove admin rights if you have provided it incorrectly. So apart from the system IT admins, you can enable an automatic removal for all other users. So you can select admin accounts to be retained, and apart from that, all other standard users will be removed the administrator rights automatically. So you can also provide temporary just-in-time access, and then you can get, choose whatever child process that you can run. You can choose the child process for the parent processes using this application control solution. So let's take a look at the next module, the next endpoint lockdown feature. This endpoint lockdown features or comprises on browser security. Every enterprise should have a browser security solution in order to manage effectively their browsers. So this endpoint lockdown supports all the browsers, so it can manage multiple browsers seamlessly in a single interface. So you can enjoy all the benefits of browser security from your Endpoint Central using this endpoint security add-on. So this will remain vigilant about the browsers being used, and it will check whether they are up to date or not. You can keep a track of browser add-ons, extensions, and plugins that is present in your enterprise. It will help you to prevent cyber attacks by removing high-risk add-ons, extensions, and plugins. So you can ensure only trusted websites are accessed by filtering the URLs. So why do enterprises need browser security? So enterprise need the browser security solution in order to protect your network from security breaches and vulnerabilities from the outsiders. Also to protect the sensitive enterprise data that is stored or transferred through the website. So this browser security solution will provide you the details on the attack surface, and it is a comprehensive endpoint security browser management solution which integrates with the existing endpoint management solution. In browser security, let's discuss what are the features available on how to allow users to enable or disable the add-ons. So when you navigate to browsers, you'd be able to see the details about the browser security in your enterprise. This browser security module will provide you the option to deploy some strict policies to all of the endpoints. So once you deploy the strict policies, you can manage all the browsers in single interface. Using this browser security solution, you can create your own website groups. It can be social networking, or it can be corporate network groups, so that you can deploy policies according to the respective website groups. As we discussed about the policies, we have a bunch of policies provided based on the browser usage, starting from add-on management, download filter, threat prevention, data leak prevention, browser customization, browser router and lockdown, Java manager, web filter, web isolation, and browser restriction. So we'll discuss on add-on management in order to effectively allow the users to enable or disable the add-on. Based on different browsers, you can choose whether to allow the users to install the extensions or not, or else you can blacklist certain extensions. So once you blacklist the extensions, the user won't be able to access that. So it will display like this. So when they try to install a Postman Interceptor extension, they will be provided with this error message stating that the extension is blocked by the administrator. You can even upload a CSV file to list the blacklisted extensions. And additionally, we provide permissions for blacklisting. For example, if you would like to stop the screen capture, or let's say the video capture, the tabs, or the web view, or the web request, or if you want to, blacklist the browser in that specific extension, you could make use of this. You can blacklist the cookies and everything. So you have blacklist permissions over here. Also, you can provide native message permissions. So the native message permissions are nothing but you can allow the native apps to exchange messages. So you can either allow to provide the native message option, or you can block it according to your convenience, or it can be left with not configured. On top of it, we provide the option to allow users to run Adobe Flash. If you want to block it, considering your network security, you can block it. Also, you can pin the extensions on the respective browser. So only these extensions will be available. The next feature, according to the CIS benchmark provided by the Endpoint Lockdown, considering the browser security, is setting Java permissions either to enabled or to provide a specific version. As you know, the Java application, it contains malicious code. So whichever sites that are located in the security zone are more likely to be hosted by like the malicious people. So you can keep a track on Java permissions. So we have a Java manager provided within Manage Engine Browser Security. So this Java manager will allow you to create a policy based on the website or website groups. For example, if you want to allow social networking websites to run on specific Java version, you can choose, and then you can choose any specific Java version that you want to run, considering your network security. And for corporate websites, if you want to run specific Java version, you can choose that. That is how you map Java version to the respective browsers. You can block it, and at the same time, you can leave it with default without configuring anything. You can choose manually the websites, or you can choose based on the website groups. Adding on top of that, we have threat prevention policies. You can create the policies and you can map it. You can map it to the respective browsers, browser customization policies that we provide for each browsers that we have. Web filters, you can filter the websites like with whichever websites that are injecting malicious codes. And then if you want to block websites with excessive ads, you can make use of this option. And you can block the web domains which are with a URL filter using this web filter option. Also, a website can be isolated using these options. You can isolate specific websites from your usage, considering the productivity. You can block certain websites, social networking websites, other websites like politics websites. Or else if you have a website groups, you can block it, or you can allow restrict according to your convenience. So this is all about the browser security solution offered by Manage Engine. The next solution that we are going to discuss today is Endpoint Lockdown on data leak prevention. So data leak prevention, in today's scenario, we have to be very aware about the data leak. So this data leak prevention software is offered by Manage Engine will help you to prevent the leak or the loss of data in your network. Recently, we've introduced a solution named Endpoint Data Leak Prevention Plus solution. So this Endpoint Plus solution is an integrated data loss prevention for enterprise. So this software will protect the sensitive data on managed endpoints from data disclosure and theft by leveraging advanced data loss prevention strategies. So it will classify the data, it will define the rules for unauthorized usage and secure transmission. So this tool will detect and enforce the policy and protects the sensitive data on your network. So let's take a quick look on the tool. We are in the process of integrating this tool with Endpoint Central. So you can create your own policies in this Endpoint DLP Plus solution. The data can be classified based on if you have credit cards, if you have any important data, the social security number, the valuable data for each and every enterprise can be classified, and it can be marked as a sensitive data so that it cannot be copied, it cannot be transferred to the outside network. So you can create your custom rules using this. You can choose whatever rules that you want to create, and then once you apply this, those details will be considered as sensitive data. So we have another data leak prevention software, which is offered as a security add-on. The name of the solution is device control. As we've discussed, you should have an effective list of an active list of devices that are connecting to your endpoints. So this device control acts as a data leak prevention solution, which will allow only trusted USB devices, some drives, and at the same time, it allows only the specified peripheral devices. Also, you have an additional option to choose only specific files in your network. So let me give you additional details on the data leak prevention. So we have a device control module over here in this endpoint security add-on. You can deploy certain policies. So creating the policies for certain operating systems, we have a list of supported devices. We have 17 devices that we support, which includes removable storage devices, CD-ROM, Bluetooth devices, printers, modems, infrared devices, tape drives, and wireless network adapters, portable devices of Windows. So for each and every devices, you will be provided with an option to allow only trusted devices or block it. So when you allow it, you'd be able to see some granular controls on blocking the file copying from removable storage device. You can allow read-only permission. You can allow file creation by device based on specific extensions with a maximum allowed file size. Also, accessing the device, if you want to disable the auto run, you can enable this option, allowing only BitLocker encrypted devices. And we offer another option on addition to file tracing. We give file shadow option. This file shadow feature will copy the exact file to a network share path for your later audit. So when you provide the network share path, this will copy the file to the network share path. You can later perform an audit about whether the files are legit or not. You can provide with the credentials indicating a maximum file size, excluding certain extensions. Also, we provide trusted devices. For example, if you want to allow only trusted devices, we have a section where you can allow only trusted devices. So this trusted devices can be allowed with the existing number of devices which has been identified, or you can allow trusted devices based on an ID or serial number. You can create a trusted device group based on an IDs or serial number, or based on a device instance path. So you can click on the respective links to get on how the device path can be identified on the properties of that device. You can provide those details. So once you create the trusted devices group, you can create the policy according to the trusted devices group. So not all the devices will be allowed, only the trusted devices will be allowed with granular settings. So you can have the options for all of the devices that you want to restrict or allow or block, and then you can provide some device audit settings. You can monitor all device activities to generate reports every frequent hours, and the users will be notified with the blocked device details. You can also give a custom notification to the users on the blocked device. So once the policies are created, you can simply deploy to the policies. You can associate the policies to the respective custom group, and then you can manage those devices. As we mentioned in application control, in device control plus and application control, we have just-in-time access, temporary access, an exception to the users. If you want to provide, the access for all the devices for a number of days, for a fixed period window, you can provide the access. That gives you insightful reports as well. So this is one other data leak prevention software offered by Managed Engine. Managed Engine offers another solution named Network Access Control. This is available as a free add-on. So this Network Access Control, it is basically used to bolster the network security by restricting the available of network resources to managed endpoints, which doesn't satisfy the compliance requirement of the organization. So this will allow the system administrator to allow or restrict the access to the organization's network resources for endpoints that does not fall the compliance category. If it is not compliant, it will block or it will quarantine the device. So let's take a detailed look on it. So this is the architecture. So you can configure a heartbeat server. So once you configure the heartbeat server, the server will check all the endpoints whether it is compliance based on the IT administrator's policy. So if it is compliant, it will not make any changes. If it is not compliant, then it will quarantine that machine from accessing the network resources. So this is available as a free add-on. You can request our team if you need that. And at the same time, this will be checked on each and every refresh cycle. So if the network, if the machine is not compliant for one point of time, on the next refresh cycle, it becomes compliant, then we will revoke, the quarantine will be revoked, and the machine will be allowed to access the network resources. So this network access control, you can get it as an add-on, and then you can use it on your network. If you want to know more about this network access control feature, please visit the below link that gives you additional details on the network access control. The next endpoint lockdown feature offered by Managed Engine Endpoint Security add-on is a comprehensive BitLocker management. So the BitLocker management is for encrypting the OS drives and data drives to secure the digital data. So that if it is encrypted, it will be accessible only for the authorized users. So with this BitLocker management solution, it enables the IT admins to easily configure the BitLocker encryption settings, and they can monitor the drive encryption status of all managed endpoints across the network in a centralized point of console. So by utilizing this Endpoint Central's BitLocker management, the IT admins can have a centralized management. They can deploy granular policies with effective controls, and they can extensively monitor. And additionally, adding on top of that, we have key features on automated scanning for BitLocker encryption assessment, and we can manage the devices which is running with TPM, Trusted Platform Module, as well as non-TPM missions. So let's take a quick look on the BitLocker management functionality. You can create your own policies in BitLocker management. So here in BitLocker, the policy can be named. If you want to encrypt the entire drive, you could choose this option. Or if you want to encrypt the device only based on the TPM or without TPM. If you have devices with Trusted Platform Module, as BitLocker provides the security for the software. The trusted platform module provides the security for the hardware. So adding an additional layer of security for the missions with TPM, you can have TPM as well as PIN enabled, or else you can have an enhanced PIN. So it will be available only for the authorized users. When you try to access the drive on a different mission, it requires all these details. For the missions which does not have the trusted platform module, you could make use of the passphrase protection to ensure the security of the data drive. Also, if you don't want to encrypt the whole drive, if you want to encrypt only the OS drive, you could make use of this option. Or if you want to encrypt only the used space, you could make use of these options. And we have provided additional settings in order for the BitLocker encryption to take effect in a mission. If you want to allow to postpone the restart for a number of days, you can configure the restart time after a number of days for the BitLocker to take effect in that mission. Also, if you want to access the data, you can use the recovery key. If it is lost or if it is logged out, you could make use of the recovery key. There are two ways that you can get the recovery key. One is you can update the recovery key details to the domain controller, or you can retrieve the recovery key from Manage Engine tool. So from Manage Engine tool, you can click on retrieve recovery key. You can provide the name of that computer. So once you provide the name of the computer, that gives you the details of the key. You can input that to access the data in that device. Also, to ensure the security, you can allow periodic rotation of the recovery key once in every frequent days according to your network's requirements. So once you create the policy, you can associate the policy to the respective mission by selecting the group. If the policy is applied to the mission, the BitLocker encryption takes effect in that mission. So the data drive or the drive that you have specified is secure. Also, you can get the details based on systems, BitLocker availability, and BitLocker reports, TPM reports in BitLocker management solution offered by Manage Engine. This is how you retrieve the recovery key. You provide the computer name, and then you'd be able to retrieve the recovery key using BitLocker management. So this is all about the endpoint security add-on offered by Manage Engine Endpoint Security. Please be informed that we have a chat panel available to answer your questions. So please post your questions. So we'll be answering it. Our chat panel is available to provide you assistance on the questions that you have. And we request you to rate us on a scale of 1 to 5, where 5 being the best on the presentation that you had today. Also, the next training schedule is scheduled by September 7th, concentrating on app deployment removal, which is app control and data security for legacy and modern endpoints. So we have two different sessions, morning for GMT and EDT morning. We request you to spread a word on Manage Engine, these platforms, if you're interested. Also, we'd like to let you know that we provide a free personalized demo session with product experts. If you'd like to schedule a personalized demo on security add-ons or any of these products from Manage Engine, please let us know in the chat window So we will schedule a demo at a convenient time. We can have an interactive sessions based on the requirements that you have. Once again, I thank you everyone for joining today's webinar session. And we will be sending a recording of the session to you. There will be a recording of the session will be available to you, whomsoever who joined the session. Additional details can be provided in our chat window. Thanks again for your time. Have a good rest of your day. Stay safe.